Africa's gold industry is standing at a major turning point. From bullion reserves and capital markets to secure logistics, digital innovation, and the rise of a continent-wide gold ecosystem. In Lagos, global financiers, regulators, miners, economists, and logistic providers converge for the Gold Roadshow Africa, a landmark event shaping how gold will power Africa's next economic chapter. I'm Kenneth Igbomor, and this is Focus On. With views from the core players across the value chain, the conversations here weren't just about gold as a commodity, but gold as a strategic asset for sovereignty, liquidity, and long-term economic security.
Had its first conference here in Nigeria. It was a round table, and we gathered people from, I think, every West African country and more. And the reason why we had that gathering was we said gold is flowing through West Africa's veins. We can't solve the problem in just one country. If gold here is flowing through here, is flowing through here, let's come together. And we had a very productive roundtable. We realized that we had to form a consortium. There are several of us in the gold business, in consulting, that said every once in a while, when there's a significant outcome or a need to reconvene, we will reconvene. But one of those outcomes that was significant said we needed to have an Africa Gold Council. The second reason is we have the fortune, I won't say the misfortune, we have the fortune and sometimes heavy weight of having ventured into the value chain addition for gold, refining gold. It's made us sit in between, heavy in the middle of many problems as we're unlocking the value chain. It also gave us another lens to see the opportunity and the challenges.
So we saw last month gold crossed 4,300 mark, first time in history. Although we saw some correction after that, right, which we call technical correction after an aggressive bull run, and that is on the back of profit taking by traders. But still, despite of that, the gold has rallied 54% this year, outpacing stock markets globally. This is not just a coincidence. It's a signal of shifting trust, shifting capital, and shifting power.
So we've always been very interested in this asset because Africa actually has about 50% of the world's gold reserve, along with several other commodities like platinum, copper, cobalt, and everything else. And like Mudasuru said, we are really just getting the mining value, which most times is less than 5%.
I think the way that we build more capital for this asset class is really around investor education, creating retail products, whether it's gold mutual funds or gold ETFs. We've had a gold ETF in Nigeria for a number of years, but I think that for a variety of reasons, firstly, because the plumbing doesn't work very well around ETFs in the market, and we haven't set up, the plumbing quite well. This product hasn't found, tremendous support and should have grown a lot larger, and other fund managers should also have created incremental, products.
There is no doubt that gold is emerging as a strategic reserve asset for African economies. For the Central Bank of Nigeria, they say that locally refined gold can strengthen reserves and boost confidence in the naira. Afrexim Bank, on the other hand, says countries are converting economic uncertainty into strategic insurance. Both institutions agree that gold is poised to become a bigger anchor of Africa's financial stability as captured in their recorded messages.
According to the World Gold Council, central banks purchased over 1,000 tons of gold in 2023, the highest level of annual buying in over half a century. The quiet but decisive return to gold underscores a shared recognition of its enduring value as a hedge, a stabilizer, and a symbol of trust in uncertain times. The global shift towards gold is also a response to heightened geopolitical fragmentation and uncertainty. As countries seek to insulate themselves from external shocks, sanctions, and currency volatility, gold remains a neutral, apolitical, and universally accepted store of value.
Around the world today, central banks, from China, the world's largest gold producer, to Poland, whose domestic production is negligible, have accelerated gold accumulation at a pace unseen in modern financial history. Their objective goes far beyond speculative gain. They are converting economic uncertainty into strategic insurance. They are buying credibility, sovereignty, and resilience, the intangible pillars that underpin national financial security in an age of global unpredictability.
For convener Nere Emiko, the Gold Roadshow Africa was designed to answer one fundamental question: how can Africa take ownership of the full gold value chain? She says the idea behind the roadshow is to educate the financial industry about gold and efforts to integrate the market and the value chain and develop Nigeria and Africa as a gold market.
I would say on one hand is to educate, especially the financial industry, about gold and how what's going on the fringes to integrate the market and the value chain. But it's deeper than that. We're trying to unlock a value chain and develop Nigeria and Africa as a gold market. We believe that the time was ripe. This theme was precious metals for precious economies, precious economic times. The truth is, these economic times are very precious. So a play on precious metals, of course, but we know a lot that's going on in the world, in Africa, trade wars, geopolitics. But nonetheless, the timing was right for we say the financial industry, the financial market, the gold sector to come together. So this was really the objective. Let's come together and let's have a discussion about gold. So I think the concept was, if we bring everyone together, if we find ways for them to see, and let's tell a story of like being here in a Legend Hotel in a free trade zone, with AFTA right now saying they want to have one market for Africa. So here we are in the free trade zone, Legend Hotel, our refinery in another free trade zone, but we're all in the airport. So, and then seeing how are all these services working together, to de-risk the gold value chain, provide services, integral and ancillary services. So I think this was the concept where we said, if you just tell the story, but not tell the story from a way of this is what we're doing, from a way of suddenly when you just see the pieces, it's easy for everyone to understand, okay, now I know where the market really is.
Conversations at the roadshow covered key areas around the policy momentum, ways to mainstream gold in the financial system, and a deep dive into the gold ecosystem.
I think there's a whole lot that is happening from, say, the SMDF encouraging support, even the ministry encouraging support. I mean, I heard recently that the government of Nigeria is seeking to put in 1 trillion naira into the mining ecosystem. And I think that gold plays a lot, in terms of what it can get from that value.
I think the overarching message should be make the area an enabling environment. So the fiscal regime has to encourage investment. So having these incentives that we have, like similar to the pioneer status, exemptions on your customs and duty waivers, where a lot of the mining equipment you require is not already in the country, so you need to import it. Having those waivers, and then I think the third one has to be a supportive investment from the government.
The legal framework is very, very key. Then the second one is the enabling environment. And the third one is capital. That's liquidity. And now we have those three in place.
For artisanal mining, right? The traceability, looking at trying to aggregate, trying to battle the smuggling. But has it been actually successful or not? That's one question that we need to ask. I don't know the answer. But the case is, if they have been trying to do and they have the legal framework done, then now is the practice, right?
So as you think about all the folks you've heard from throughout the course of this day, from breakfast to panels, etc., elements of those answers have shown up. So one possibility is we want the African gold markets to really be national in nature. We want both retail use, cultural use, use in monetary policy, defense. We want it to be regional. We want Ghanaian gold or Burkinabe gold to show up in Republic of Benin. We want to show up in South Africa. We want it to show up in Nigeria. And we also want it to be global. We want African gold to show up in India, in China, in the United States, across multiple markets, so that the various end uses that are desired, whether it's industrial uses of gold, whether it's cultural, whether it's monetary policy enabling, we want to be explicit in where we compete.
One of the most overlooked parts of the gold ecosystem is also quite essential: the integral and ancillary services that make the system safe, bankable, and investable. I had the privilege of moderating this session, and the key takeaway from the panelists was that Africa's gold market cannot scale without the systems that de-risk the sector and reduce financing costs.
I cover Africa Forever Global, and in essence, what we do is we provide secure logistics for high-value commodities, including banknotes and gold.
Our industry is probably the softest of this ecosystem. We are the only ones that don't see or touch the gold. We don't see it. We don't, unless you leave it open, and I don't think anybody will be responsible enough to leave gold open in their rooms or in their meeting rooms and all of that. So sitting here today, I think is symbolic of our connection, of what we are, the softest side, but a very relevant side of the ecosystem, because we are the only ones. I mean, we're the only ones that actually enable the deal making that happens.
The Gold Roadshow Africa was a packed day of insights, networking, and strategy, setting the tone for Africa's evolving gold economy. From policy reforms and financial instruments to technology and logistics, the conversations here show just how much potential lies in Africa's gold ecosystem. What remains is execution and the collaboration needed to unlock it at scale. I'm Kenneth Igbomor. Thanks for watching Focus On. See you next time.